Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Hello again, hockey fans. Are you ready to brave the wild with me, your buddy, Paladino Joey? Today is Saturday, October 8th, 2011, at least the beginning of it. It is episode number 50 of Brave the Wild. We have finally reached the golden episode of 50. Yes, Brave the Wild has survived to episode number 50. So we are going to celebrate that today. Natedogg is back in studio for the 5th time, so very proud to have you on board once again.
Yeah!
And there's his signature. So Natedogg is back to talk about the season preview for the Minnesota Wild. We'll talk about that, and then later on I'll individually talk about a little bit of, we're going to reminisce a little bit because this is episode number 50. We're going to have a little special segment later on after the season preview. So those of you hardcore Brave the Wild fans and just, people that enjoy this podcast in general, stick around. Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, exactly. Please do stick around for that later on in the show. But really, to get into the nitty-gritty in general, well, we got to preview the Minnesota Wild season. How optimistic are you? Not too much?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good, I guess. We've been winning some preseason games.
They played well in general. They finished kind of with a struggle. I mean, a little bit. They started but well, finished with a struggle, but it's just kind of that's the best part about preseason, though, is they don't count. I guess that's the best part. I mean, it's like they're kind of like the Vikings this year. Those of you that listen to Purple Mafia, also on the sportstuff.com and iTunes, of course, we kind of have a good idea what that means. Mm-hmm. They play well early and finish poorly.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the slogan, but again, I guess it's growing pains, the new system, really young players, all the above. It's kind of... Mm-hmm. But that first line's pretty exciting, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think of line number 1?
It's all the hype.
It is all the hype, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You got Koivu, you got Heatley, and Setaguchi.
Yep. That
line can score.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's more depth in this team than we've certainly had it ever, I think. Because it's nice.
Yeah. This is, to have another player that's like a Gabrick caliber on the ice, and then you got kind of a Koivu with setup man, kind of like Dimitra, but
in a way, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
Create spaces and stuff on the ice.
And for once, we have guys that actually shoot the puck. We don't actually kind of... It's funny, a couple of years ago, it was like, it's all anybody's been doing is just trying to pass. Like, there were goals, I remember 2 years ago, I forget if it was Latan Dress or Havlat or somebody came out and said, it seems like all we do is pass and we give up, like, open nets, like when we have a chance to shoot. And now we finally have shoot for players to go with the setup men, the Setaguchis, the Heatleys, and Latan Dress.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Latan Dress finally back.
And all the reports are he's very, very healthy, per the demands of owner Leopold. Got it like that.
Took him a long freaking time.
Yeah, he only played 6 games last year, wasn't it? 6
Yeah.
games. He got, 3 points in 6 games, or was it 8 games and 6 points? I can't remember exactly. But regardless, it's like abdominal and hip injuries. It's just like, like the guy just clearly not in shape at all going into last season. He got a little complacent, I guess.
No.
It's like, oh, finally, now I'm a good player, and I'm just going to kind of slack off.
Now he's finally healthy.
Yeah, now he's actually healthy. That's the good news. I mean, we've pretty much come into this season healthy for the most part. That's the good news.
Oh.
Thank God for owners and general managers demanding the players to come in healthy this time around. It's nice to have owners and GMs that are a little bit more aggressive and mean about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The coaches, too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You can tell.
Yeah, I got a little laxed, and then the locker room was supposed to be like, more, like the coach is supposed to, have some force in the locker room and be able to dictate more often their will and whatever. And I guess he seemed like he had more of just an attitude of, well, these are professional hockey players. I don't need to babysit them or whatever. But some of them just need that extra, push or, make them skate.
Yeah, I got to pretty much kick him in the butt a little bit.
Yeah.
At times you have to. Colton Gillies is on the team, so that's finally a done deal. That's one guy of note that really struggled. The final class of the Doug Risebrough era of draft picks. Oh, fun times. The Colton Gillies, the Tyler Kumas, guys like that. Gillies is going to make the team finally, and obviously great chemistry with Mike Yeo last year. Gave him a lot of confidence. That's exciting to have him finally coming to life.
Yeah.
That's it. It's cool.
Looking pretty good. On Wild hat and looking like could go somewhere with the franchise.
That's the hope. I mean, you trade up for a guy and all that. A guy who did basically. They put him on the NHL roster his rookie year, which is kind of weird, and he did basically a whole lot of nothing. They sent him down to Houston. He does a whole lot of nothing. Then Mike Yeo comes around, and it's like, he's actually kind of good. He actually was scoring goals in the playoffs. That was fun. In their little playoff run in Houston, of course.
Yeah.
That was fun. Like, did you ever get a chance to check out any of those? Obviously, it's not a requirement of any kind. I'm just bringing it up for the fun of it. Did you ever get any chance to see any of those Becoming Wild videos on TV or Wild.com?
Becoming Wild, like how they got there? Or?
Yeah. It's videos about Mike Yeo with the Houston Aeros and ultimately and talking with Danny Heatley and all that. Setaguchi.
I do recall seeing some of that. I don't think I really got the full whatever they're talking about, but
the full gist, yeah.
Yeah, I think I did see something like that on TV.
Yeah, it's just kind of an interesting. I guess really all it is. I guess in a way, it's trying to pretty much probably rev fans up for the coming year in a way, and
yeah,
I think that's what it really is.
I remember seeing Setaguchi, where he came from. He was, I guess, his dad was a farmer, and he got fired for some reason, and so I guess he played hockey instead. Something like that.
And it worked out well, I guess, in the long run.
Yeah.
If you're playing in the pros and actually scoring 30 goals, sometimes. No, I mean, heck, 25 would be nice to get out of him, I think, but 30 would be even better, of course. It's going to be interesting to see how things come around. You look up and down the roster, there's some players that are some surprises. There are players that are kind of, real quick, before I get into that, there's not really surprises when it comes to the blue line, the defensemen and all that, but it's kind of thin, isn't it? I mean, you're really putting a lot of stock into a lot of young guys, that's for sure. I mean, there are 2 veterans, Zanin, Zidlicki, well, 3 veterans, you can include Schultz. Zidlicky's really, really good, but he's kind of injury prone. Zanin's obviously a stay-at-home guy, and he's kind of injury prone. Schultz is just kind of average. He's steady, but he's average. The blue line is going to be really a test of. I mean, it's going to be really a test, especially starting out this season. You got a lot of inexperience and at the same time not much firepower coming in. I mean, Scandella.
Yeah.
Scandella's got the potential to be the guy, I think. And Lundin is out. That's a veteran the Wild signed, like a fourth or fifth defenseman type guy. He's out for a little while, unfortunately. So the talk is that Scandella is going to be pushed more into the top 4 defenseman range. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
Was that against Scandella?
Yep, Marco Scandella. Yep, he's a top Wild prospect for defenseman. Yeah, he's a good one, but obviously, he hasn't really made a mark in the NHL yet. A little too early. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're just so young, and that's just happens when you're young. Some people just come out of nowhere, and other people just fail.
Yeah, like Jared Spurgeon would be a guy you could say come out of nowhere in a sense. Like last year, he was a nice little, literally little,
yeah,
a nice little plus for the Wild. Like it's a lot of stock to put into a young guy, coming in this year because, Zan and Zidlicky, who knows what's going to happen to them. I love Zidlicky, but he's 34, and who knows, he'll probably get traded this year. I have a feeling he probably will be, to be honest.
Really?
The way his contract is structured, it's like pretty much. They signed him to a 3-year deal. This is the second year, and they said during the second year, his no trade clause disappears. It's kind of weird, so that's where things go. It's like Zanin or Zidlicky. One of those two might get traded. So people inside say. Clayton Stoner, always kind of like him, but he's again, he's kind of been in the system forever. But really, when you look at these names, you're like, so that's it?
Yeah.
Like I can see the look on your face too as we're kind of talking about it. It's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Justin Falk's the other one. Yeah, that's it, folks. So a lot of people a little bit worried about the blue line coming into this season, of course, trading away Brent Burns so you can get the Setaguchis and other pieces to fill the cupboards in Houston.
Yes, I heard another up-and-comer that they're kind of surprised made the lineup was that Ballmer.
Yep, that's what I was about to get. Yeah, so good job there, yeah. Brett Ballmer, he was a second-round pick in the 2010 draft, and he's already here.
Jeez.
He is already here at age of 19. A lot of people... I heard, Michael Russo today on the Paul Allen Show? He was talking about why in the world are these people so high on Brett Ballmer. This was last year. It's like, I guess they were comparing him to some really high-end names, and for some reason Russo didn't want to name them, probably because he's kind of scared to. They're comparing Ballmer could not make the Wild look silly or him look silly. But they were comparing him to some really high-end like stars in the NHL. And he's like, what are they seeing? They're crazy. And then coming into this camp, he's like, whoa, they may have been right. And here so that's kind of cool to hear that. I don't know if they were talking about Crosby or what the heck, Malkin, or I don't know. I have no idea who they was talking about, but...
British Columbia.
British Columbia, Prince George, 19 years of age, Brett Ballmer. Oh, and he got in a fight, too. Ooh, and that's like, all of his photographs pretty much are him fighting. So it's like, when I think if you want to have a guy on your team and compare him to high-end players and take him in the second round, I think you want him here more than just fighting, huh?
Yeah, probably.
A little bit more going on, just a little bit, but
yeah,
it's kind of cool. He made the team.
I don't think he could bring the entertainment like Bugard did.
God rest his soul, Bugard. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ultimate one. Yeah, he was the ultimate fighter.
Yeah.
I guess talk in the NHL is they're trying to do away with that role a little bit.
What's that?
Huh? I'm sorry, like the kind of designated fighter type of guy?
No.
The designated goon or goon or whatever?
Yeah,
they're trying
to hear something about that. They're trying to make it more about hockey and not so much about fighting, or just trying to clean it up.
Yeah, that's kind of been the talk. Like Lou Nanne was talking a lot about that on Dan Barrero earlier this week. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Yep. The Wild really don't really have a designated fighter type anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with the loss of Bugard, of course, that's a big loss, literally.
Yeah.
Real quick on a side note, well, there's been a lot of death in the NHL, hasn't there?
Oh, yeah, there has.
There's been a lot of death going on, like similar stuff.
Especially for ex-Wild players.
Yeah, because another one, ladies and gentlemen. Pavel Dimitra, that plane crash. Obviously, we're late to the, we're obviously because I haven't done a show since July. I think it was, Danny Heatley, when we got Heatley.
That's so scary.
It's crazy how many people are dying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the whole Russian hockey team.
Yeah, they died on the airplane crash.
They had like a bunch of ties to the NHL.
All over, yeah. Several players are, well-known guys, and unfortunately, Pavel Dimitra was one of them. They're all gone.
Yeah.
Like, was it 37? Yeah. It was like 37 people, I think. I don't have the exact number in front of me.
It was like in the 40s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The whole hockey team, devastated.
That's weird, isn't it?
Well, I guess if I'm going to try out for any hockey team, I better get up to Russia.
That's about it. I mean, they need somebody at this point. It's sad to think.
I'm freaking driving. I ain't freaking riding a plane to any games.
That's
just taking a bus or something.
Yeah, it's like your wish, huh?
God, that's horrible.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's horrible to imagine that kind of thing. I mean, you always think about, like, oh, that won't happen to that. That's just, they're on their way wherever. We'll see them when they get there, wherever it is.
You hear more about,
routine.
Celebrities and, people dying in those smaller planes, like private
jets. Yep,
but
that was a lot.
You hardly ever hear something like this happening to a team, a sports team, or anyone.
With a lot of significant names. Yeah, they're just literally gone. That's the thing when a plane crashes. There usually people don't make it.
Yeah,
most of the time. It's obviously it shows how fragile the humans are, and of course that's a given. But at the same time, it's just wow, bad luck, bad everything. It's sad, very sad story to hear about Pavel Dimitra. So with that, we'll give him a quick moment of silence. And that pretty much is where things stand. Rest in peace, Pavel Dimitra, and that's about it, huh?
Yep.
Sad story, very sad story. So,
God bless you and your family, and it was even hard for Gabrick. Do you remember what he said? He was he was devastated.
I knew they were extremely close. Like, what was his comment? I missed it.
Yeah, it's
to paraphrase him.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just remember he was devastated by the whole thing.
And I can only imagine. It's kind of like when Kevin Garnett lost Malik Sealy years ago. They were really, really close. Knew each other for a while, I guess. Like one looked up to the other. The younger one, obviously, Gabrick and Garnett, each looked up to the other two.
Yeah.
It's just, it's weird. Things seem to happen. Obviously, Dimitra and Bugard, not the first two to die for the Wild. Of course, remember, how could he forget Sergei Zoltak?
Yeah,
remember that was during the lockout.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, you knew something was wrong when he all of a sudden, like during one of those late overtime playoff games, he just kind of collapsed temporarily to the ice and just kind of got up like, oh, I'm okay. But the way he collapsed, it was just kind of like, It's like, little did we know, like within the next 6 months or something, it was a harbinger of what was to come. It was something to do with that same deal, like low blood count or something, and he's just gone. Bizarre, huh?
Yeah.
Something to do with oxygen, blood count type of deal. It just didn't make it,
Yeah, it's crazy to go that far in your life and just all of a sudden be over like that.
Yeah, it's weird. It is weird indeed. So to try to...
Especially with all the medical expertise and that they have, I'm sure they have to go through some kind of examination before the season starts to make sure that they're,
Good to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Health-wise, like the physicals and all that. Yeah.
And they always have trainers there and stuff, so you think they would be able to, keep an eye on it.
You would think it's weird, or maybe it's like not something they were thinking about or looking for.
Yeah, kind of like
you never know.
Those people who have like heart failures on it's happened quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but
it does happen.
happen.
The fact that it does happen, unfortunately, that's a sad, somber truth. To be honest with the, it's been definitely a somber mood in the NHL for several months now. The Bugard, the Dimitra. There were other players that died of the same thing with the Bugard right around the same like a month period or so. Their names are escaping me. I didn't write them down. I wish I did, but they were in the same role. It's the same kind of goon fight 'em role.
Yeah, I do remember hearing something about that.
Massive depression. Yep.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. You don't think about that kind of stuff. You just think of, he's the tough guy who's going to take care of business and he's real popular and, stuff like that. And
it's like a dream come true, making the NHL and all that.
And then there's a side story, unfortunately. Yep.
Uh-huh.
There's the other side, and you're like, dang. You're like, dang, really? Depression, pain, and dependency, unfortunately. Dependency of painkillers and alcohol. And when you put too much of each together, it's like poison, basically.
And they can pretty much get whatever they want to get.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah,
that too. They have access to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly do, so...
yeah.
No, go ahead.
I don't know why they don't have, like, more, I guess, training or, like, like a program, like, something to take care of their players. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they do or not, but...
I'm sure there's something, but I guess they're going to have to improve whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're going to have to improve it because it's the stories are coming out way too frequently lately. It's getting kind of weird. Actually, this fits in pretty good with previewing the hockey season when you think about it, because it's something they got to work on, and there were a lot of alarming trends and stories that kind of popped up, during this off season that nobody really knew about except, I guess, insiders, like really deep insiders, like the actual sources themselves.
Yeah.
Like the source is the client as well, or the victim or patient as well.
Yeah.
Pretty scary stuff.
Someone close to the family.
Mm-hmm. There's that too, like Aaron Bugard. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So how do we transition back to just regular hockey? It's kind of it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it fit on the show. I hope you like to maybe not like think of it as a happy discussion, but at the same time important. We'll say definitely an important discussion.
This season came pretty fast, before we knew it. It's already, the Leafs are changing, and
quickly.
It's like, holy crap, our season's about to start, like, tomorrow. It's nuts.
Yep, today, you could say, within about... I hope this show is released before the first game, but it doesn't... But it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to worry too much if it's 1 or 2 games in, that the show gets released. But.
Well, around here, it seems like it's summer because we've had such a nice week, like, the whole week.
Yeah, that's something we could throw on the air because it's been historically warm and dry. I've enjoyed the dry part. The warm part is fun, too, though.
Yeah.
Like, when you talk about Indian summer, it's a real thing right now.
I don't know.
And I love dew points in the 20s and 30s when it's warm. It's, it's like Nevada out there. I like that.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Pretty weird for Minnesota in October.
Mm-hmm. In multiple ways. Usually think of wetter and colder.
Yep.
You do. I love dry. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, one other quick thing to note was player movement, I guess. A certain guy you see floating on the roster here, unfortunately, he was put on waivers. That was Eric Nystrom, son of a former New York Islanders dynasty member.
Yep.
Was it Dan Nystrom, I believe?
I think so.
I think so, yes. Eric Nystrom is on waivers. I guess his production level, according to, obviously, his production level for his pay, not good.
Yeah.
Like, yep. Not, I mean, all he really pretty much has been is a grinder, score like 1 or 2 goals a year, pretty much. That's basically all he's been, and yet he's getting paid like almost $2 million a year.
Jeez.
So they're kind of a little bit of a bad money management. Well, he had 4 goals last year, but might as well be 2 goals a year. Yeah, they pretty much paid a little bit too much there for old Nystrom, so they're hoping to replace him with someone at about this 500,000 or 600,000 range, rather than just a financial kind of common sense type of decision, I guess. Maybe make room for another youngster.
Oh, this is kind of off topic, but
yeah,
I remember we had there's a golfer who played for the Islanders. I forget his name, but he was
Kyle Poso? No. It's not that one. Is it like recent?
Yeah.
Kyle Poso, yeah. The big
he left,
name one, yep.
way too early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how... You don't really hear much from him these days.
He's doing okay, but it's not like, oh my God, Kyle Poso,
Yeah.
He's okay, but certainly not like a top 5 guy. I wouldn't say top 5 overall pick in the draft.
There's so many of those gophers that, went on to the NHLs.
That didn't do much?
Like, I guess Goligoski's playing for the Stars.
Yeah, they're all over the place. And it's like it's semi-off topic, but not really that bad. I mean, it's, we're just previewing the season and talking general hockey, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
A lot of players with Minnesota ties.
All over the place. Yeah, Poso, his best season was 52 points. That's not bad. I mean, the Wild, any team would take a 50-point guy, but that was 1 year, though. Like, it's like you've been like 20, like 25, 30, 40-ish for him most of the way in a 4-year career so far in the National Hockey League. Kyle Poso, not quite Mr. Top draft pick style. He's not Zach Parise level, that's for sure. Yeah. That's a guy that didn't go to the Gophers and was a pretty successful player with the evil North Dakota Fighting Sioux.
Yep.
He had a hell of a career in college and in the NHL. It's not really off topic, but kinda, I guess. But I guess that's a guy the Wild absolutely will be targeting next season when they have more cap space.
Parise?
Zach Parise. Yes, sir. I have one of those top centers in the Minnesota Wild.
Yep.
A huge addition to a deepening front line for the Wild, or forwards and stuff.
That'd be great. Wouldn't
that be nice? Especially if you have, Koivu and Cullen as the other 2 centers. Oh my, that's 3 lines with 3 centers there. Yeah. So there you go, like legit centers, and still have Brodziak, which I like him a lot.
Yeah, Brodziak.
I like Brodziak a lot. Unfortunately, they're saying he's at a bad camp, which that really sucks to hear. But he's the 3rd line center on the team. You got the second line officially at this point in time. Cullen, Bouchard, and Latendresse. I like that line. That's solid, huh? It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not great, but yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah,
it's not. And then the 3rd checking line, of course, Brodziak. I guess it's Daryl Poe and Kyle Clutterbuck. That's gonna be a little bit of hitting of that line.
Yeah,
and you got the face-off champ in Brodziak.
It's like 20. Kyle Clutterbuck gets like 20 hits a game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He'll do like 3 hits when he's hitting a guy once. or like within a couple of seconds, just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
He's quite a hitter, isn't he?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
You do? Yeah, Clutterbuck. And the best part about Clutterbuck, he's perfect for a 3rd line because he can actually poke in a few, into the net. He can be a 20 to 25 guy. That's the good part about him. He's got talent.
Yeah.
I expect almost nothing from Poe offensively, but he's definitely a checker. That's what everybody says, obviously, that's basically what he's going to be here.
See, I guess that's what bugs me the most, is that they don't use him they don't surround him with talent. Clutterbuck.
Yeah.
He had talent surrounding him that kind of foreshadows his abilities, that, he could easily be on a top line in the NHL.
He could be at least a top 2, yeah.
Yeah.
At least a top 2. He's, maybe be the 3rd guy. He doesn't have to be, the top scoring guy on the team. He could be the 3rd the third, you got the star center, the star wing, and then he's like the other one.
Yeah.
The checking wing that still can score, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can still get 20 to 25, maybe 30 if he's really hot and on a really good team.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he scored like crazy in juniors.
Yeah.
So the guy's, he's an underrated player by experts. In this town, he's so popular, I can't use the term underrated, because everybody's like, Clutterbuck, Clutterbuck, Clutterbuck. But like nationally, he's underrated, of course.
Yeah.
You don't think of Clutterbuck if you live in Toronto or whatever, Florida. So, not that Florida's really a hockey hotbed or anything, but might as well bring it up anyway.
Well, I think anyone in Canada would know him.
Oh yeah. He's the perfect Canadian player too. All that physical style with scoring, physical and scoring. It's gonna be fun.
Has he ever played for the Canadians? I don't think he has.
Clutterbuck?
No, in the Olympics.
I don't think so. No, there's just too many other,
there's
studs.
A lot of
Yeah, there's too many superstars from Canada.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, you have to pretty much be one of the absolute like all stars in the NHL to be on that team. Like basically every.
And that's like complete opposite here. You got all the young players that we tried to do the same thing, Miracle on Ice.
The U.S., yeah. That was a good team, though.
Yeah.
The Parisis. Gosh, who's the others? Now I'm blanking. There's some really good ones. I'm glad they got the younger guys, because the older guys were bored. Remember that?
Yeah.
And they'd underachieve and acted like idiots.
I don't know.
Like the Chuck and stuff, the Flip Saunders. Okay, I didn't say his real... I didn't say what I was going to say, but you can fill in the blank. He bleeping sucked.
Yeah.
He flucked. Okay, now I blew it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they blew it they made USA Olympic hockey look like trash. They really did.
Well,
so bringing in the young guys,
that's how it was before the Miracle on Ice team came. That's exactly how it was.
Yeah, the NHL All-Stars getting pounded by Russia.
Yeah.
Yep, that was, they just took them to lunch, and then they'd be bringing these college guys from University of Minnesota and Boston, and once they finally united due to Herb Brooks' extremely aggressive coaching style, which probably would not work today, but it worked then in a more mature, era.
Yeah.
The more manly era, we'll say. It worked then, and they won it all because of it. It was not bad. Like today, kids would probably pout and not cooperate. But, yeah, it was impressive.
I'm sure they did plenty of that. He just like in the movie, showed his will and, made people believe in the system. Yeah, made people believe in the system, and then, gosh darn it worked. Yeah. Gosh darn it worked. USA hockey, though, looking pretty good in the future, though, with all these, all these young players. It's beautiful. They lost in overtime. I was so upset. Yeah. Oh, man. That was pretty... Oh, it was heartbreaking. It was horrible. That took me back to the... Crosby. Ugh. Yeah. He's the one that got it, too. That figures. It's like, you can, pretty much. You guys can guess what I just did. Okay, I did the finger. And it's like, that's what I was doing when he got it, too. I think a lot of American hockey fans were doing it as well. Yeah, Crosby, whatever happened to him, doesn't seem like he's coming back. He's injury prone. Yeah. The Penguins are either champions or hurt. Yeah. They're kind of like, they're one of those teams, and as we kind of briefly dance around here a little bit, it's, NHL season preview. Pittsburgh Penguins, are they going to win the Cup this year, or are they going to just be hurt, or what's the deal? Yeah. They're funny. They're a funny team. Par team. There'll be a par team? Yeah. Fourth seed? Par 500. Maybe they'll be like ooh, really? Yeah. You think they're going to not make the playoffs? Yeah, I don't think so. Ooh, that's a bold prediction, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. Hey, there you go. Okay, we can kind of jump into it, unless, is there anything else you want to say about the Wild in general? Or we'll jump into all I gotta say is we better do freaking better than last year. Yeah, last year was ridiculous. They started strong. The first year under Richards, it was like they started horribly, and it was like, whatever, we're not going to make it. The second year, they started really good,
they stayed pretty good for a while, and then kind of did their little up and down valley crap like they've done every year. And then they got really hot, and all the way up to the 4th seed at one point, and then took the nosedive of nosedives, and it was like, bye, Todd Richards, you're done. This is not going to work. It just didn't.
Yeah.
Havlat didn't work either, and don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
What team did Havlat go to again?
San Jose. That's why Danny Heatley is a member of the Wild.
There you go.
And that may go down as the best trade in Wild history. It very well could, because Havlat was aloof, and he flat didn't work with Todd Richards. He's just a high maintenance guy that wanted everything his way. He's going to practice the way he's going to practice, and not have anything to do with the team or the coach. So it's like, screw him.
Well, you kind of wondered how we got him in the first place from, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
you wonder, were they just bored of him too?
I heard we kind of heard what he was about before he came here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of told us.
Who?
Chicago had always said he was high maintenance as well.
Yeah, and then he came here and was high maintenance and not that good, really. Just a 60-point guy when he was at his best. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win a cup with that guy leading your team. Ain't going to happen. Like San Jose, good luck to you. You've got other scorers, so maybe that's what you need. Maybe he'll get a 90-point season because you have Joe Thornton over there, but we'll see.
I wonder if Setaguchi is going to be as good as Park.
Which one?
Richard Park.
Richard Park, look at you.
There you go.
I hope he's as good as Richard Park. Park was a good skater and quick, but he wasn't, I don't know. He had breakaway speed. That's what I liked about him.
Yeah.
But not a dominant scorer, though, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Oh,
he was okay.
Yeah. I liked him.
He was above average at times. Clutch at times.
Well, yeah, he was on our team during our run.
Yeah, and he scored one of the big goals, too. Yep. Against Colorado in Game 6. The one that took us to Game 7. Yep. Brunette's ultimate goal, which we'll always remember forever and ever. And good luck to Andrew with the Blackhawks, except when you play us. But, oh, I miss you, Andrew. Oh, I don't think he's listening, but I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss him already.
It must just his personality and his leadership.
That was exactly what he was. The personality and leadership was like the best ever.
Yeah.
Best ever. God, I miss you, Andrew.
I think he misses you too.
He probably does. Yep. Oh, that guy was the best. He's the coolest hockey player I ever met. And I met a couple, and I'm going to say this real quick, maybe as we close with the Wild. Maybe a couple other nuggets that close with the Wild part before we get to the NHL predictions. But hockey players in general, of the pro athletes I've met, they tend to be the most polite. I've noticed that. Mm-hmm. They've been the most polite, the most cordial, the most business-like too, like in a good type of business. Like, you're our customer, and we're going to treat you like a customer, not like some annoying punk that won't leave us alone,
Yeah.
Some athletes treat you like the other thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. You feel more like it's like family, more family oriented.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with the way hockey players treat their fans for the most part. Like, they're not perfect. There's maybe a bad egg here and there, but in general, they're pretty good.
Look at that one guy, what's his name, from Detroit Red Wings, who we hate.
Oh, Todd Bertuzzi. Yep, Todd Bertuzzi went from like one of the stars of Vancouver to a journeyman, but for the most part, he was pretty much a jerk, especially when he was with Vancouver. Maybe he's humbled a little bit since then, but
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, and who the heck is Nick Johnson, by the way? I just have to throw that out there for the heck of it. Yeah, somehow Nick Johnson, this journeyman who has scored like about 5 points in his career, has wound up on the Wild's roster, at least for the opening day. He's played 10 games, and yep, I was right, 5 points. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Penguins, and, doesn't look really like he's panned out yet. Does it? But somehow he's made the Wild roster, and I'm kind of like, okay, that's nice. Part of it might be guys like Cody Allman, who's always hurt, are unavailable right now. Regardless if he was going to Houston or to the NHL roster. Yeah, come on, Cody, get healthy. That guy's always hurt.
Yeah.
That guy's always hurt, isn't
he?
He is always hurt. He must be covered with salt. Okay, sorry, I didn't say that. Almonds. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. All right, so our final thing will be about the Wild. We'll get to that when for the predictions. Our final little prediction will be Wild related, but we'll get to that at the very end. So we're gonna, when we do our NHL predictions, it will have to do with your biggest surprise, your biggest disappointment prediction in each conference, and the two teams that will face off in the conference finals on each side, and then your eventual champion. The two teams that will face off in the Cup finals and your champion.
Yeah.
So are you ready to go? You're good to go?
Uh-huh.
All right, Eastern Conference. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go.
All right, so the Eastern Conference, well, surprise team is going to be, it's kind of tough, but the Winnipeg Jets. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I can't call. That's the problem. Hockey's funny.
Yeah,
the way teams bounce up and down. Like you can't call Boston or Montreal a surprise team. Obviously not Boston with their championship.
Tampa Bay was surprising.
Tampa Bay was surprising last year, though, weren't they?
Yep.
So it's like, unfortunately, I can't use them as a. And
then you got Boston
because of that. Yep, Boston's out there. I kind of have a sneaky feeling, and I'm going to be careful saying this, but I got to say it because it's the team I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the New York Islanders. How about that?
Huh. I thought you were going to go with the Rangers because they got Gabrick.
Yeah, right. No, well, they wouldn't be surprising. It'd be like their talent finally did what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
For once ever. And I mean ever. They're always underachievers. But I think the New York Islanders, for whatever reason, are going to emerge. They have accumulated high talent over the years to still have Rick DiPietro. I kind of have a sneaky feeling they might get into the playoffs, maybe the 7th or 8th seed, and we'll go from there. Because every year there's one of those weird, wacky underdogs that not only sneaks into the postseason, but goes all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
But then runs into a wall at the end and loses. But at least they get there. Like the North Stars are one of those teams one year back in '91. So that's my surprise team. The flop team, I'll say, in the Eastern Conference. Well, I'm gonna have to say this. I got a bad feeling about. I'm scared to say this. It might get laughed at a little bit, but. The way they continue to choke in the first round of the playoffs, I kind of have a feeling Washington's going to go down a little bit.
Really?
I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs, but I think they're going to be underwhelming, like 6th seed range. I think for whatever reason they're going to drop off a little bit.
Yeah.
Once they get to the playoffs, who knows? But I have a sneaky feeling about that. So, who are your surprise teams and flop team?
I'm thinking...
For the East, of course. Yeah, sorry.
Surprise team, you probably see... I'm thinking a Canadian team's going to be pretty good.
Montreal? Canadian. Excuse me.
Either Ottawa or... Montreal.
Ottawa or Montreal?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say Ottawa, but it's like I couldn't do it. I wanted to.
Yeah. And then team that I could see going down probably be, of course, the obvious one was Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought you were going to lead into that. Yeah. So you're thinking about Pittsburgh is going to be the flop?
Yeah.
Okay. Because of the reasons you were saying, they're just injury prone and such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're one of those teams, they could go all the way, they could lose. Who knows what's going to happen. So with that, I guess, anything else you want to say about those two, or?
No, thinking, Buffalo might have a good year this year.
They could. Yeah, they could, definitely. We're going to see what happens there. Thomas Vanek and all.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to the conference final predictions. Yes. I think Tampa Bay is going back to the conference finals.
Really?
I think Tampa Bay is going back to the conference finals. They're loaded with talent. Their goalie's extremely old, but when you get him in the postseason, if he's healthy, who knows? Dwayne Rollison's still playing hockey. They re-signed him.
Wow.
We'll see. Will he hit a wall? I hope not, but we'll see.
He's kind of been up and down too, though.
Yeah,
One year he is good, and then the next year he's not so good.
Yeah, it's up and down like crazy.
That's why when we've had the two goalie system, two really good goalies, when back in the day, Manny and Rollison, that's why it worked so good when we had it.
Yeah, when one cools off, you get the other one, and then go from there. That was a really unique situation.
That was fun.
It was. I mean, you don't usually have two number one type goalies like that. You could just back and forth.
Yep.
It's weird. So yes, Tampa Bay will be in the conference finals against Philadelphia, in my opinion. A little bit of a weird combination, but I see those two high-powered teams meeting in the Eastern Finals this year.
Oh.
I think that'd be fun to see. Yep.
Boston.
Boston.
Is that your favorite team, Boston?
I think they're excellent and everything. And I think they proved that they finally, they finally showed what they could do. But I don't see them repeating. No. Like maybe first or second round exit. Yeah, they could repeat, but I'm not going to pick it.
Yeah.
So who do you see in the East Finals?
It's Buffalo. And let's say Washington.
Buffalo,
or maybe I kind of looking at Florida and thinking they might do something.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you
it's kind of a stretch, but
that'd be a major. Yeah, you should have called them your surprise team in that case.
I think
they have talent though. They do a little bit. They have a little bit of talent, but not much. I don't know. You really? Are you gonna go
I
Buffalo?
Just keep on looking at Florida. It's just like,
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Weird.
This is sticking out to me in my head.
Do you want to call them your surprise team instead?
Yeah.
Maybe call them your surprise team.
They're probably more of a surprise team.
So who does Buffalo face in the East?
I go Washington.
Washington Capitals. Yeah, they could, and that could be a really good prediction. It'd be nice to see them finally get there. So I guess we'll switch to the West before we start talking about our Stanley Cup final predictions. So should I go first again, or do you want to get first dibs on this side?
Oh, I could.
Yeah. I'll let you switch off. Yep, there you go. So disappointment and surprise.
Oh, disappointment. Probably see. Let's see. Vancouver, I think. I hope.
Yeah, you hope? Yeah, that would be funny. Look at this homer over here. Okay, I'm mean. No, go ahead. I'm mean.
Yeah, I don't like those guys.
No.
And I'd say Dallas is going to have a really good year.
You think they'll be a surprise?
I don't know about a surprise, but I think they're going to have a really good year this year.
They've accumulated more young talent. Yeah, they're built up. They were not as old as they were before. There's still some age there, but it's not as bad.
Phoenix had a great year last year.
Or wasn't it the year before? But regardless, they were pretty damn good, though. Yeah, at one point. They didn't do much with it, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. So who officially are your flop and hot team or surprise?
It's I think Calgary's gonna have a pretty good year.
Be your surprise?
I don't want them though.
They could.
They could. Yeah, I think that'll probably be the surprise. And I think Dallas is probably gonna be the hottest out of them all. And the flop would probably be Chicago.
You think? Yeah, it could be. Oh yeah, they keep losing people, don't they? Yeah, that could happen. Like they have all the talent, but it might be just not going to happen. Maybe they'll be a disappointment.
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I mean, they lost their first game, so it's a start. Yep. See, the NHL season has officially started, ladies and gentlemen. Your surprise team in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Wild. Okay, no, that's I could.
That's high hopes.
Yeah, but no, if I was national, I could come out and say that with the scoring additions. Like, say if I was from Toronto or Buffalo or something, the scoring additions they've had is kind of a perfect marriage. I would almost I would consider them as a top 3 possibility for it. But officially, I'm going to go with a really weird one. It's going to be weird because of, again, a lot of talent accumulated. Now, they have the worst blue line in hockey, and they signed the worst defenseman in hockey, Cam Barker. You can kind of guess who I'm leaning towards, can't you?
Yeah.
But they have so much accumulated talent from draft picks, they might at least make some noise to possibly push some people for that 8th seed. I'm not even going to say they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they'll be better than they've been for quite a while, and that is, well, who do you think it is?
Ooh.
Edmonton Oilers. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, the Edmonton Oilers. I know somebody's going to smack me for that one.
Yeah.
Watch them lose 70 games this year, but I got to go on a limb. I'm gonna, I mean, why not? This is fun. It's not about, oh my God, we're gonna bet $300,000 on this happening, But I think the Edmonton Oilers are gonna push 500 this year.
Wow.
How about that?
That's crazy.
And that is a huge improvement, considering how pitiful they've been for a while.
Yeah.
I think they'll push 500 because they have so much high-end talent.
They were good since they had a Roley.
Yeah, they did have Roley, and they went to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And lost in Game 7 to the Canes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they almost got it. Yep. It was kind of cool seeing Edmonton and Calgary go to the finals. Because those are just classic Canadian fan bases. It was fun to see that.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll go to the finals, but I think they will push 500, yeah. Which is a huge surprise to a lot of people. The drop-off, the flop... I was almost thinking Chicago as well, just because I think, they're 2 years removed from a Stanley Cup title. They just reek of complacency to me. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I have a feeling that Chicago is just. I didn't like the way they went out last year.
Yeah,
that was disappointing. It
was.
It was. I don't have a good feeling about Chicago this season. They'll probably make the playoffs, but maybe they won't. I mean, there's a legit possibility that they might even flop all the way down to the 9th seed.
Yeah,
they were awfully disappointing last year. So, yeah, Chicago. I'm gonna agree with you on that. So, Western Conference Finals. Do you want first dibs?
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
Said Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my pick. No, go ahead.
Give it to Dallas.
Wow. Yeah.
Versus Detroit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say Detroit, but you have to. It's like a given.
It is kind of a given, isn't it? They're always there. They're always there, and you can't pick San Jose, can you?
No.
Because they never do anything. Oh, they made it last year though, but they didn't win. Those suckers. No. Yeah, I mean, they almost never get out of the first round, do they?
No.
I almost, doggone it. Okay, here it goes. I'm changing my prediction. Are you ready? The San Jose Sharks, oh goody, they got Brent Burns. Oh, wow, they got Martin Havlat. They're going to flop.
No.
Yeah, Chicago, you kind of expected anyway. They're going to be in the 6 to 9 range.
Yeah.
I think San Jose is going to be in the 6 to 9 range. From number 1, number 2, I think they're going to 6 to 9, ladies and gentlemen. You throw away Danny Heatley, Devin Setaguchi, guys like that. Yeah, okay, they weren't great all the time in the playoffs, especially last year. I got a sneaky feeling about San Jose. I don't think Danny Heatley, yeah, he wasn't as good there as he was supposed to be, as advertised, all that good stuff. Martin Havlat, you might say it's a perfect marriage because there's a set-up man going with the scorers and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work out that well. They'll probably make the playoffs, yes, but I don't think they're going to impress anybody. So they're not going to be in the conference finals either. Columbus and Nashville. Okay, excuse me. I'm just teasing. Columbus and Nashville, right? Wouldn't you love that? No, I think some people are picking the LA Kings. Nah, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I want to go with something that's...
I hate freaking skating over it. Their ice sucks.
Oh, yeah, and I don't... Yeah, the LA Kings, they never win anything, ever. They have some talent in the regular... they win some games in the regular season, but they never win anything.
Yeah.
And again, I'll believe it when I see it. So, I have to pick this team because of the talent level. You want to pick them to flop? Mm-hmm. I want to too, but I think Vancouver will at least represent in the Western Finals against my other hated team, the Red Wings. Yuck. Mm-hmm. Why am I picking these two teams? I hate them so much.
Yeah.
But they're going to represent in the West.
They're just far superior out of all the teams right now.
Mm-hmm. I think Vancouver and Detroit will literally face off in the West. And the Eastern Conference will be represented by the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. How about that?
Damn.
Yes, yep.
So you're predicting who in the Stanley Cup?
Not yet. I got to pick the West though first. Or do you want to go
for go ahead.
West? I will say the Detroit Red Wings win the West when we'll face off with Tampa Bay in the finals. How about that?
Really?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
So who do you got winning their conferences? Because you had Buffalo against Washington.
This is who I want. Mm-hmm. Buffalo versus Dallas.
In the finals? Ooh, just like 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Who wins that series? Is it going to be just like 99?
I want Dallas to win, but Buffalo's a good team, so...
I think you're going with them for the title?
I think so.
Buffalo for the title?
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. Yes, it would. Oh, man.
It'd be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it would. Yeah, I'm sitting here wanting so badly to pick Tampa Bay because I think the firepower there is so awesome, and I love them, and I want them to win. I would root for them so much. I guess I'm going to... Oh, I don't want to say it. Oh, my God. Don't say it, Joey. Don't. It's like picking the Lakers to win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say it.
Don't say it.
Okay, you guys know who I'm talking about, don't you? Okay, so it's the same team that Matthew Stafford plays football. The same city. Yeah, the Lions play there. Yeah.
How are they doing so good?
Oh my God, they're good. They're the best team in football.
Yeah.
They're almost as good as the Packers, but yeah, I think Detroit Red Wings win the cup. God dang it. Oh, okay, that hurt.
What are you saying?
That's the last one, though. Last one.
What are you talking about?
It's the last cup. Yep. Last time. Bye-bye.
No, they already had too many.
Yes.
Fuck them.
Oh, he said it. Oh, there's another F-bomb. Oh, boy, this is a long show.
I know.
I still got to do the 50-episode special out there. So, guys, out there, stick with us for the 50th episode. Get to that in a second. Anything else you'd like to say in conclusion? Oh, one final thing. Do the Minnesota Wild make the postseason this year? That's what we'll say in conclusion. Yes.
I am hoping for yes, but since we're so young and I don't know, we just need more talent in there. It feels like it's pretty bare right now.
Especially the NHL roster, like the
like these young guys might surprise you.
Yeah, Scandella. Yep.
That sometimes happens with younger players. You don't really know their capabilities until they make a name for themselves. And that's like, whoa, these guys are actually pretty good, so they could surprise you. But it's their first year, and probably there's not a very good chance of us making it. Yeah,
maybe 9th or 10th seed, you're thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely understand that take. I could definitely understand it. I'm having a hard time choosing because that's like the other little prediction here. Will the Wild make the postseason? Man, I think it's going to be an 8th or 9th seed for the Wild. That's where I'm going to stand. I think they're going to be 50-50, which is kind of a lame cop out. So I'll say. Okay, I'm going to go on a limb and say 8th seed Minnesota. Oh, okay, sorry. Because of the scoring. because of the scoring, we've got the bells ringing in the back. But I think the scoring additions, and as long as guys stay healthy, like the Collins and the Latendresses stay healthy, that's more depth on this front line, or the front lines, we'll say. It's almost sounding like I'm talking about basketball. What the heck? The forward lines, 1 and 2. I think the depth is better than we've ever had. So I do see potential there. Obviously, the blue line is a huge question mark, and there's a lot of youth, and youth usually means losing.
Yeah.
Like Edmonton, like New York Islanders, who I'm picking both to at least make something interesting over there.
Yeah.
I think the Wild do battle like the Edmonton Oilers for a playoff spot this year, believe it or not. It'll be fun to see who wins.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think one of those two literally will be there. It's funny how like the computer has it set up that way right now, or the and it's just random because neither team has even played a game yet. It just happened that way. It has Edmonton actually having it, but it's just funny. And no, that's not why I made those predictions. But I do think that's actually where they're going to be, though. Kind of riding the 8 and 9 with each other a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Colorado's going to flop as well, but I got San Jose flopping. Oh, yeah. That's my flopper, which you already heard.
They do have them flopping as well.
And they should. Yeah, I think the Wild sneak into the playoffs against the Red Wings, the Vancouver Canucks, or the Dallas Stars. And who knows? Probably nothing will happen of positive note, but who knows?
Oh, all I care is them competing and being in the mix. Showing something, like they have talent, but just needs to be fine tuned, and chemistry and all that. I want to see improvement. I want to see their hope, like a light at the end of the tunnel, which would be nice.
It would be nice. It really would, to see some light at the end of the tunnel. It could happen, and it may not.
Yep.
So we're basically, I have them as a fringe playoff team, and you say probably not, right?
Yeah.
Like 10th seed, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like they're But the good news is there will be hope. Where the Todd Richards era, I don't know. It just seemed like a mediocre team that wasn't going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah, they got our new coach, Yo.
Oh, yeah.
He at least, it feels like, new, fresh, something to look forward to.
Yes, sir. Yes, he does. That's the good news. It's going to be fun to see just how much energy he brings into the organization. I think there will be quite a bit. Will it be more wins early on? Maybe. More wins later on? Yes. Todd Richards seemed kind of sleepy to me. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was going to happen. Poor guy. Maybe he'll make a great assistant somewhere like Columbus.
Yeah.
Which is where he is. Yeah.
Didn't seem like it clicked.
It didn't, did it?
Yeah.
That was the thing. There's no click, then that's it. It's going to be an early exit for the coach.
Yeah.
So with that, I guess we'll conclude this part of the show, and we'll be back. Those of you stick around for a little bit of Brave the Wild hit memory lane for the 50th episode special. Woohoo! We are back here on Brave the Wild, episode number 50, which is always a reminder for iPod users along with other MP3 players like Microsoft Zune and others. Well, as mentioned several times, this is episode number 50, and this is going to be a reminiscent segment about Brave the Wild. Thank you, those of you that have stuck with me after the break to talk about Brave the Wild. 50 episodes in, we've been around for shucks, about 3 years, a little more than 3 years. Can you believe Brave the Wild has been around for 3 years already? It's pretty strange. So a lot of stuff has happened with the Minnesota Wild during this 50-episode stretch, 3-year stretch or so. It's crazy. So way back, everything started with episode 1, Will Gabrick Sign or Be Traded? That happened on August 24th, 2008. So that's the birthday for Brave the Wild for you. August 24th every year. So, yep, already 3 years in. Yeah, the show pretty much started out. It seemed to constantly feature Gabrick's contract dispute in the early episodes. It's crazy. And, yeah, again, as mentioned, I cannot believe it's already been over 3 years of Brave the Wild. I'm sorry that it hasn't been more episodes. I mean, in a 3-year span, you think maybe I'd be at episode 100 by now, but schedules get in the way, things happen, but I'm still here. We have made it to the golden 50 for Brave the Wild. Neil Natedogg Thiesing has joined officially 5 shows now over the course of Brave the Wild. So yes, I've had a guest on Brave the Wild. That's one of the other things you could talk about. He officially joined episode number 18, 35, 47, 48, and, well, 50 now. 2 of them were State of the Wild shows. Today was and is a season preview. It's actually the first official full-blown season preview for the Minnesota Wild in the history. A couple of years there was just kind of like training camp talks, preseason talks, but this was kind of like a full-blown season preview for the National Hockey League and the Minnesota Wild. But yeah, again, the historical changes of the Minnesota Wild over the course of the 50 episodes. We've had 2 coaching changes. Todd Richards replaced Jacques Lemaire back in June of 2009. That, of course, was episode number 20 when we talked about that. Mike Yeo replaced Todd Richards, the fired Todd Richards. We talked about that episode number 47. We've had a general manager change over the course of this time. I mean, a lot has happened, folks. Chuck Fletcher replaced Doug Risebrough, episode number 19. That's probably the best franchise move in history for the Wild. Doug Risebrough pretty much destroyed the team. Obviously not intentionally. He either didn't draft well or he traded draft picks away, and ultimately that was not leading towards a successful tenure for the Minnesota Wild long term. And the owner, Craig Leopold, made a move he had to make. He had to make that move. Now we're going to get into some interesting topics as well. The best trade over the course of the 50 episodes: Puglia for Latendresse, and there's a silver lining to that if he's healthy. We talked about that episode number 28. Puglia for Latendresse. That potentially is the best trade in Wild history. A strong honorable mention is Havlat for Healy, episode number 47. But of course, we haven't seen them play in the regular season yet, so I can't make that number 1 just yet. For those of you out there that are saying, why in the world would you not say Healy for Havlat? And I definitely think that one's going to probably win in the long run because Havlat, I think you got my opinion of him and Neil's opinion as well earlier on this show today. The worst trade over the course of Brave the Wild was not done by Doug Risebrough, believe it or not, and he made some doozies. At the time, I thought the O'Sullivan and a draft pick for Dimitra was a historically bad one. There were others over the course of his time, but it was mostly bad draft picks for Doug Risebrough. But the worst trade, I mean, you guessed it, Nick Leddy and Kim Janssen for Cam Barker. That was a doozy, folks. That was a doozy. That one hurt a lot for all of us that are strong Minnesota Wild fans over the years. At the time, it seemed semi-exciting. But even yesterday on the Paul Allen show, they sure talked about how, like, what the heck were the scouts thinking when they rated him as high as they did? I think that he went 3rd overall just a few years back. That was a historic deal right there. That just did not work out too well. I believe that was the same draft that brought Sidney Crosby to the National Hockey League. So I think 3rd overall, ouch, for the Blackhawks there. But then again, they got Nick Leddy out of it. So good for them, but not for us. We got nothing. So odds and ends of note we could talk about. Tyler Kuma and Colton Gillies have been in the system during all 50 shows. And after doing as much research as I could, those are the only 2 guys that have been in the system during the entire tenure of Brave the Wild. They were both taken 06-07. Kuma and Gillies have been around the whole time, believe it or not. And they've pretty much been in the system the whole time. Gilly's rookie year, yeah, he was with the Wild, kind of, but ultimately you could pretty much consider him more of a system player. It's been interesting. So, really, other odds and ends in general, we've had 3 coaches since the 50 episodes of Brave of the Wild. We've seen the cupboards emptied to refilled, we hope, with Granlund, Zucker, Coyle, Phillips, Hackett, etc. We've seen multiple Gophers enter the system with high hopes, only to fail, be traded, or fired. Danny Ehrman, Nick Leddy, Todd Richards, and the only exception so far is Darby Hendrickson, who's actually was none of the above, like really failed, traded, or fired. Hendrickson did stick around and was pretty good. He's now an assistant coach of the team. He was also a commentator on the television and the desk with Marnie Gellner on Fox, or FSN, Fox Sports North, whatever you want to call it, FSNN, Fox Sports Network North, whatever. It sounds really cool. The Wild finally named their first full-time captain in episode number 26 in their 8th season of operations.
Holy crap, Batman!
Yeah, they took a little bit too long with that, but hey, we have our captain. We all kind of knew he was going to be the captain. Mike Yo, really agreeing with Todd Richards with that one. Obviously, it's like, well, whatever. You kind of knew that was coming at some point. Playoff appearance during the 50 episodes, folks? None. Yeah, that's right. None. No playoff appearances during 50 flipping episodes in 3 years of Brave the Wild. That's a little frustrating, and well, what do you do, right? What do you do? That's what happens when Doug Reisrow was your GM, I guess. Boy, I like to rip Doug Reisrow on this show, don't I? So, to conclude things, I want to say special thanks to Chris Porter for being such a loyal listener from afar. So, thank you very much, Chris Porter, for everything. Thank you for your loyal listenership. It has not gone unnoticed. Appreciate you so very much. Of course, special thanks to Neil Natedogg Thiesing for being a part of 5 episodes of Brave the Wild. Always thank you to Dylan Richardson, who allowed Brave the Wild to be posted and hosted on thesportstuff.com. And, of course, on iTunes. He obviously is the one that gets them up on iTunes. So thank you very much, Dylan Richardson, for helping make this show possible. Thank you all very much. You guys are so loyal, so helpful, so everything. So those of you who have been listening for all 50 episodes, or at least 40-something of them, thank you all so very much. I'd like to hear from you at some point in time. That would be great. There are 3 ways to get a hold of Brave the Wild. First and foremost, I got to mention the sportstuff.com's way, because it's only fair that they get first dibs, of course. On the front page of the sportstuff.com, there's a button that says TSS Sports. Simply click on that, then register. I believe the forums are split up in divisions, so you can talk with hockey fans from all over the world. It would be cool indeed. There's obviously Chris Porter, Matt Kennedy. Those guys are big hockey fans. Always cool to talk with them. Very friendly guys as well. Knowledgeable about the game of the National Hockey League. So great to have you on board. It'd be great to have you on the sportstuff.com message boards. Also, there's a Facebook group for Brave the Wild, or Facebook page now. Facebook page for Brave the Wild. Simply go to Facebook, type in Brave the Wild, Minnesota Wild Show, and there's 2 things that'll come up. There'll be a group and a page. Go to the page if you could and start posting on there. You can post on there and your post will be mentioned on the show. They're all so appreciated. That would be absolutely terrific. I guess there's 2 other ways to get a hold of Brave the Wild. Don't forget about the phone lines, 209-736-7877, 209-736-7877. It is a voicemail. Do treat it as such. Mention you're calling in for Brave the Wild, and state your comment, shout-out, question, whatever. It'd be great to have your voice with mine. And finally, the Twitter account, twitter.com/Brave the Wild, twitter.com/Brave the Wild. Do give that a follow. I tweet during games when I'm able to, and there you go. That's the thing. Great to have you on board for that as well. Would like to get a little more listener involvement. It would be terrific. It just makes the show more fun. But hey, until I get more listenership involvement, always thanks to Neil Natedogg Thiesinger being a part of the show, of course, being a co-host at times. He's always welcome on this show, and I hope you listeners enjoy what he has to say. Pretty entertaining guy, if you haven't noticed. So, again, thanks for listening, and 50 episodes in, we will hope for 50 more. We can get to the grand 100. But until it's time for episode number 51, when we'll talk regular season hockey, I will bid adieu.